Namaste. Hi everyone, this is Mary Jane Feng Shui Yoga Girl, and today I want to just talk about how we are coming upon the autumnal equinox. So the equinox occurs twice a year, during the autumn, this time towards late September, and also in the spring, known as the vernal equinox, which usually occurs towards the end of March. And so this is a very powerful time of the year. Equinox literally means that there's equal day and night, and that occurs because the sun moves through the celestial equator. So it becomes a very powerful time, and if we notice nature, things are changing. We will notice that the mornings are a little cooler, and so are the evenings. The days are becoming a little bit shorter, so there's a little bit less daylight, and hence the changing of the leaves. So this has to do with photosynthesis and chemical reactions that create the color changes in the leaves, and then the leaves drop off. When we look at in terms of what's going on with the earth itself, so if we look at the macrocosm, it begins to pull inward. And so that is a very contractive type of energy, or the element of metal when we take it from the Taoist philosophy, or the Chinese elements, the 5 elements. And so the metal is not only contractive when we think about it pulling in. So from a macrocosm, the earth, pulls in, and it starts to prepare for the colder weather that comes our way. And from a microcosm perspective, we start to pull in as well, so maybe that's when we put the wraps around us, the sweater and what have you. And so there are internal changes that occur, and metal being an element that can be quite powerful. It can be used in a positive way for justice and truth and organization and planning and thought processes. And also, obviously, in a way to be used as leadership qualities. Obviously, with every pro, there is a con, and so the negative aspects of metal to be used would be to, charge at somebody, or cutting like a blade. So, obviously, we want to pull in and use these qualities in a positive way. It also is about the energy of vata, or air, when we look at it from a yoga perspective. And the quality of air, if we think about the winds, they pick up. It's hurricane season. And so that can leave us feeling a little off balance, not quite grounded. So it becomes a very important time to embrace your yoga practice, or qigong, or tai chi, your meditation. This type of energy, also the metal moving inward, is very much about your spirit. So it's about getting closer to the spiritual aspects of yourself. And of course, that will occur as you get into your meditation, into your yoga, and also your pranayama, so your breath work. All these are very, very important dynamics during this time of year, and always, but especially now. I will be doing a part 2 video tomorrow, where I will be discussing a nice celebration. And when we come to the equinoxes, or even the solstices, so these are very powerful points, it's always nice to have some kind of a ceremony to greet in this beautiful change. So we'll do that as part 2 video. I'd like to stay along the lines of moving into ourselves and into our spirit to really tap into that light within. And so from a yoga perspective, there is a pose that calls to mind here, Ashtavakrasana. And the story behind Ashtavakrasana is about the sage Ashtavakra. And basically what happens here is, while he is in the womb, his father is reprimanding him. And so as a result, he comes out as a cripple, where there's actually 8 points of his body that are out of alignment. So Ashtavakrasana is also known as 8-angle pose. And so his father is reprimanding him because the story goes that he is correcting his father in the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation of the Vedic scriptures. And so when he gets older, he takes this long journey to go visit King Janka because he wants to visit the yogis with great wisdom. And so he takes this long journey, and he's a cripple. It takes him a long time to get there, and he finally arrives. And when he arrives, he finds that all the yogis are making fun of him, making fun of his physical outer condition. And so he musters up all this courage, and he says to the king, these are not yogis, they are but shoemakers. They do not see the Atman, the soul. They are looking at the outer layer. And so the story, or the moral of the story is that we need to move out from the outside, the physical layer, the Annamaya Kosha, which we're so connected to. And so through our practices, we move inward to find that inner light, or the Atman. And so the pose is actually very awkward looking as well. And so you would need to be pretty warmed up for this. And many times you can come into this pose by coming into the preamble, which is elephant pose. So you can come on up to here, and then maybe crossing at the ankles, and then floating the legs out to the side and lifting out through the heart. So there's a big squeeze. So you can see, even in this pose, everything looks all kind of bent up. You know, it's not this perfect, there's so many other poses in yoga that has some grace to it. But the idea is that we move from the outside to the inside in this pose. And so Ashtavakrasana reminds us to move inward. This time of year is a pulling in, and to really tap into the higher chakras where the air is, Anahata coming into the throat, Vishuddha. But we also want to remain very grounded. So the earth element helps to ground out all that air, that vata, while building the metal for our truth. Namaste. Mary Jane Feng Shui Yoga Girl, and be sure to visit my site at www.fengshuiyoganj.com.